everyone, it's Monique for Nude. Welcome back to another video. So this week's video is going to be why I stopped watching mukbang videos on YouTube. So if you don't know what mukbang videos are, they became really popular like a few years ago. It's basically, I think it was derived from Korea, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know the exact history of it, but basically it's when you watch people eat. You know, they gorge on tons and tons of food. Sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't talk, and you just watch them eat. It sounds a little weird now that I'm thinking about it, but yes. And I'm not gonna lie, this became like an addiction to me. I would watch these videos like every day for hours. So I want to tell you why I became convicted of watching these type of videos and how God brought me out of that, and two situations that happened really either before my relationship with God or like right towards the beginning, you know, when I didn't really know better. Okay, so the first incident that happened was probably like around 2019. So I was watching this mukbang video of a person eating sushi. I can't even remember what video it was or who it was, but you know, I was watching it. I was like, ooh, I want to go get sushi. It was a common thing that I did. Like every time I watched somebody eat something that I really liked, I would be like, ooh, I want to go get that food, right? So, you know, after work, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get sushi. And then my husband was like, it was
because you watched the mukbang video, wasn't it?
And I was like, yeah. That's how bad it was. Like, without him even seeing me watch the video, he already knew why I wanted to go get the sushi. Not because I wanted it, because I seen somebody else eat it. And that was pretty horrible, to be honest. And to that point, I feel like God sometimes, well, pretty much always gives us red flags in situations that we should not put ourselves in, but we tend to ignore those red flags and keep wanting to do it anyways. So that was probably red flag number one. Red flag number two, I went out to go get the sushi. It was going to be a new sushi place that I wanted to try. And red flag number two, it was raining. I did not know it was going to be raining, but I still went anyways. Red flag number three, I got lost on the way there. Okay, so it's raining. You know, when it's raining, it's dark. It tends to get darker outside, and I'm lost. But I eventually find a way, and the sushi place that I found, I was like, oh, it's like this hibachi restaurant, so it's not really like a real sushi place. So I was already disappointed with that. So I got my food. I was driving back home. I'm at a stoplight, literally at a stoplight, and all I hear is boom, somebody slams into the back of my vehicle. I got into a car accident. Like literally a few minutes up the street from my house, trying to go get the sushi. So, you know, it took me by surprise because we're literally stopped at a red light and somebody crashes behind me. So, you know, I'm panicking and I'm like, what's going on? So I get out my car and I see this lady was like, the lady behind me was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like upset. I'm like, what the heck? And I look further and it's another person behind her that had crashed into her, and she crashed into me, and it made me crash into somebody else. So it was like a 4-vehicle accident. Okay, we were sandwiched because a vehicle behind the lady that was behind me rammed into us and hit all 4 of us, clearly because she wasn't paying attention because the light was red. So I had to wait for 2 hours in the rain with the stupid sushi in my car because all of us got rear-ended and they had to make a report or whatever. I was so upset and I felt so stupid that I would even think about doing this, all because of a mukbang video that I watched to go get some sushi that didn't even taste good. When I finally went home, literally, like, if I turned this way, my house was probably like a few blocks over. That's how ridiculously close I was to get into the house. When I got home, the sushi wasn't even good. And my husband was like,
did you really get into an accident over some mukbang video? Over some food?
And I was like, I was already upset. And I was like, dude, whatever. And, you know, I'm on the phone with my insurance company and trying to, you know, handle the situation or whatever. And he's like,
you want this food? You want this sushi?
And I was like, go ahead and eat it. I tasted it and it wasn't even that good to begin with. And I was like, you can just eat the food. So that's the first situation that happened. You think I would have learned my lesson the first time? Like I said, this was towards the beginning. I don't even think I was saved then. But I think the second situation that happened, I was saved, but it was towards the beginning of my relationship with God. So, you know, I don't really know any better. So you think I would have learned my lesson? I did not learn my lesson. I did the same thing again. Okay, but this time something different happened. This happened, I don't know, maybe I don't know how long these two situations happened. So the next situation, I was watching another mukbang video of this person eating some chicken wings and french fries. And if you know me, you know I love chicken wings, french fries with ketchup and mumbo sauce on it, okay? Every time I go to Chinese carryout, that's all I ever get. I try something else, like I'll try like little stuff like lo mein and beef and broccoli or shrimp and broccoli here and there, but like I literally always go back to my chicken wings and french fries. I cannot help it. That is part of my childhood. So I'm like, ooh, I want some chicken wings and french fries. We don't really have that many good Chinese carryouts in my neighborhood. I didn't want to get the one that was closest to me, so I went further out to a new carryout to try some chicken wings and french fries in hopes that it would taste better than what I'm used to. And I just want to emphasize, there's nothing wrong, of course, with eating out and getting food or whatever, but the issue with what I was having, I was letting these mukbang videos control me and control my every move and control what I was going to eat. I'd watch somebody eat something and I'll go out and get it because, you know, I began to have those cravings of the foods that they were eating. So that's what the issue was. I was letting these fleshly desires control me. And this time around, like I said, I was building a relationship with God, so I was already getting convicted with what I was doing in the second incident. So I went and got the Chinese food anyways. You know, nothing happened. I didn't get into a car accident or anything. I came back home. I know I was probably feeling a little guilty. I was getting that conviction, but you know, we bypass everything that we know is right and we still do it anyways. So as soon as I put the food in my mouth, I don't even think I swallowed it. As soon as I put it in my mouth, my stomach began to like turn and it was hurting. And I was just like, ooh, this is probably not good. I still kept eating anyways. I'm pretty sure I gorged it down. And the mumbo sauce had a weird texture to it that I'm not used to. So that was, all these red flags were blinking, were waving, flapping in my face, but I kept ignoring it. And my stomach was hurting the whole entire night. It would not stop hurting. And I was like, I think God is probably trying to tell me something, but you know, I ignored him. So I went to sleep that night and I woke up in the middle of the night because I realized I didn't change my son's diaper. You know, at the time he was really young, so you know, we have to change the diaper right before they sleep so they won't pee in the bed. So I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to change the diaper. So I woke up in the middle of the night and when I woke up, I instantly felt nauseous. So I changed his diaper and I was thinking to myself, I was like, am I gonna throw up? Like, I feel like I'm about to throw up. And before you know it, I was getting ready to throw up. So I ran to the bathroom. I couldn't even make it to the toilet. Okay. I threw up in the sink. I threw up all the chicken, 4-piece chicken wings, french fries, and mumbo sauce was in the sink. Okay. I was completely disgusted even with myself because I was like, it was orange and red, and you know the color of mumbo sauce. It was orange and red on all the chicken wings and pieces, and mushy french fried pieces was in the sink, and I was like, ew. And you know, I was even more disgusted because I had to clean this up out the sink because I couldn't reach the toilet in time. And I just knew in my heart and my soul I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways, and that is what I deserve. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is so weird because I never get sick from food. I've never gotten food poisoning before. Food has never made me ill. You know, when people eat out, sometimes it don't sit well with them. It's never made me thrown up before. So I was like, oh my gosh, that is so weird. Something must have been really wrong with that food. And I'm not gonna say that God directly caused this to happen to me, but I will tell you, I am confidently sure that when you disobey God, okay, you know in your heart that he's convicting you not to do something and you still do it anyway, that removes you from under his protective covering, and it allows the enemy to have his way with you because you disobey God, because you committed that sin. Now you removed yourself under his covering. Why would he protect you and cover you at that point when he told you not to do it in the first place? So that means any consequence that happened because of that result of disobedience is technically your fault. Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly that's what happened with those two incidences. And I will say it took me a while to unattach myself from watching these mukbang videos on a daily constant basis. I will admit, like, it was like an addiction to me, this type of concept. Anything could be an addiction. The overconsumption of something is an addiction. People could be addicted to porn. You could be addicted addicted to like anything, shopping, eating too much, watching certain things, even if it's not, you know, explicit, it's still wrong. I don't, you know, indulge myself in those type of videos anymore, but I will say they do show up on my feed on TikTok sometimes. So, you know, sometimes, you know, they'll show up here and there, but like I'm definitely not where I used to be. Well, it's hard in the beginning because I generally do love food. I love trying food from different cultures. You know, I love fellowshipping with people with food. So it's something that I really do like, but you know, those desires can be misconstrued, and there are boundaries with everything that you do. Too much of a good thing can turn into a bad thing, you know, to the point where you let it control your life. It is gluttony. It is gluttony. We're going to call it out for what it is. That is gluttony. When you're over consuming food to the point that your body doesn't need that many calories. You're eating calories for the whole entire week in one setting. And you know, we know gluttony is a sin. You're supposed to feed your body what it needs, not necessarily what it wants all the time. That is the point of self-control. You know, the Bible says that God himself wiped out Sodom and Gomorrah because of pride, gluttony, and laziness, while the poor suffered outside her door. You know, I would advise you, if you're, you know, dealing with food addiction, do the opposite and try fasting. Fasting will humble you real quick. I remember when I first started fasting, I was like, wow, this is nothing. I never went without food. How privileged are we to never have to have that feeling voluntarily? I was like, wow, I never know this is how you feel when you don't eat for a really extended period of time. You know, the lack of energy, the hunger pain. And then it really got me thinking like, wow, like all the food that I've ever wasted. Seriously, like all the food that sits in your pantries and cabinets that you can't touch. And then, you know, I started thinking about people, you know, outside of my limited space, outside of my bubble, that go, you know, 4, 5, 6 days without food. You know, think about homeless people that have to go without food for an extended period of time, the lack of energy that they experience, and how we overconsume like it's nothing. We just throw away like it's nothing. So it is really a humbling experience. If you're in the same boat that I was in, you know, addicted to watching these type of videos, just think about what I just said. I don't think those two incidences were a coincidence. I think they happened for a reason. And I am glad to have learned those lessons, because trust me, I was like, okay, I'm not fooling with this no more if all this craziness keep happening. So yeah, you know, the Bible said that God disciplines his children for his good. So take my experience as a learning lesson, okay, so that you won't have to go through any of that type of stuff. So yeah, that is why I stopped watching mukbang videos. Let me know in the comments, do you watch mukbang videos? What you think about them? I don't know, I'm starting to see like a lot of these YouTubers that do mukbang videos. I'm not gonna get into that, but like it's kind of crazy to see like the before and after. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, share with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.